what does the T wave represent on the EKG? So now, to remind yourself on the order of the letters on the EKG wave, just remember the order of the alphabet, P, Q, R, S, and T, right? And then also remember your heart, the order in which blood would go. So you have your chambers, and then you have your atria before your ventricles. So the order of the contraction, the way the heart would go, would be atrial first, and then ventricular. So we're going to keep that in mind for knowing if we're looking at atrial or ventricular. And we also know that the heart, the way it pumps, that it pumps and then relaxes, pumps and then relaxes. So the contraction, contract, or the pumping equals depolarization. And then your relaxation is like your reset, so your repolarization. And we're going to apply this to our EKG wave. P, Q, R, S, T, all right? So we've got our P wave here, our P, then we've got our Q, RS complex, and then your T wave, right? So keeping all of this in mind, looking at the order, and then also what these terms mean, we're starting with the atria. So we're starting here in the atria, and we're starting with contraction. So the P area is your atrial contraction or atrial depolarization. Now we're moving to our QRS complex here, and this is your ventricle, because that comes next after the atrium, and this is also a contraction or a depolarization. So this would be your ventricular depolarization. And then we're still working with the ventricles here when we get to the end. But at this point, we're resetting. We're resetting the ventricles. Reset. So it's a repolarization. Repolarize the ventricles. So, because this question is asking about the T wave, and our T wave is over here, and over here we're saying that the T wave represents repolarizing and the ventricles. So therefore, repolarizing. So now we see that ventricular repolarization is listed in option C. The reason we know that this is repolarization of the ventricles as opposed to the atrium is because this reset here is occurring right after the QRS complex. Then we move into the T wave immediately after. So right after this ventricular path, then we still have to be in the ventricles to reset it. The atrium has already reset after going from the P to the QRS. So that leaves us with option C, ventricular repolarization for the T wave on the EKG.